Optimal health does not start outside of the body. It starts within, more specifically within the cells of your body. If your cells are not properly charged, you will experience disease as opposed to health. The cells in your body hold an electrical charge, otherwise known as millivolts. A healthy cell holds an electrical charge between 70 to 90 millivolts. In other words, sickness can be measured by a weaker charge in your cells, whereas health is measured by a higher electrical charge in your cells. Through scalar wave technology and biophotonic light, the EE system gives a boost to the cells in your body, keeping them at their optimal charge of 70 to 90 millivolts. Spending time in this technology is like recharging the battery of your body, giving you more strength, vitality, and energy to thrive. Clinical trials have shown that the EE system technology assists in cell regeneration, neurotransmitter functions, immune function, and so much more. And this research has been acknowledged by many in both the medical and scientific communities. Thousands around the world are reporting benefits such as mood elevation, lower stress levels, pain relief across the board, increased energy levels, emotional stability, improved immune function, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is what the future of technology looks like. And the good news is, it's already here. Hundreds of centers have opened around the world in just the past 12 months alone, and we've only just begun. Are you ready to experience what this technology has to offer you?
I feel like I have a new body that's like from 20 years ago.
No cancer, all stable.
The CAT scan showed no precancerous lesions.
And that's the first time I've been able to be walker-free in 5 years.
My insulin intake is going down.
My foot I hadn't felt in 8 years, I could feel.
The video you're about to watch is from real people sharing their real, authentic stories and testimonials after experiencing the energy enhancement system technology at their nearest unified healing center to them. With over 370 centers around the world and over 40 countries around the world, we're getting tens of thousands of testimonials, and we've only just begun about a year and a half ago. I ask you all to watch and share this video far and wide. Comment below this video with an experience that you may have had with this technology to encourage other people around the world to experience it as well. Check this out.
I had neck surgery from a car accident, and it was hard for me to do the things that I used to do. It started to go from my neck to my shoulders and down my back. By the early 2000s, I was pretty much in chronic pain. So I've been in pain for about 20 years. I've been through pain management. I've had multiple surgeries, and I've also had a test for a spinal cord stimulator, and I decided not to do that because it didn't really take away my pain. It helped it a little bit, but my center's been open for 3 months. I've had an opportunity to spend plenty of hours here, and I love my new body. I feel like I have a new body that's like from 20 years ago. I can do sit-ups, I can swim, I'm not having pain, and I have so much more energy than I did before.
I did the Walk for the World event without my walker. I did 3,500 steps, and that's the first time I've been able to be walker-free in 5 years. In 2018, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I've been coming to the EE system here since the end of September when it started, and I'm getting to the point where I'm completely walker-free.
The breast cancer metastasized to the brain, and so they went in, they radiated that beginning of April. So the follow-up MRI was clear of that one, but a second one had come in, a new lesion, twice the size. But I had had a EES session the day before the second MRI. Hence, the results were no cancer, all stable. Had another follow-up a month later, did the EES prior to the MRI, same results. No cancer, all stable. I'm beyond thrilled.
Was pain, inability to walk, and facing 2 surgeries. Very long story short, 2 hours in her chair. No joke, 2 hours. My foot I hadn't felt in 8 years, I could feel. My toes that hadn't worked in that same amount of time, they work. I walk without a limp. My pain is essentially gone, and I no longer have to have 2 major surgeries, one to my back and one to my neck.
My shoulders, the stress in my shoulders is released, and I've been dealing with onset of arthritis in my fingers, and at the end of the session, I can almost play the piano.
That's wonderful.
I've gone from shuffling when I walk or being bedridden to my movement. I'm out and about again, I'm running errands, and I couldn't have done those things before, so I just, that's just a wonderful, wonderful result for me.
I never feel as relaxed and de-stressed as I do when I've had a session here. I've gotten my husband to start coming, it's helped his arthritis, and the facility is lovely, the technology is amazing, and I can wait till I get here for my next visit.
And I've got type 1 diabetes, so I'm just thought I would come in here and see what this place could do for me. With my type 1 diabetes, I've noticed that my insulin intake is going down, and that's pretty cool. I've been able to see results with, for instance, my knee. The pain is completely gone. It's gone. Amazing. And another thing that's really improved is my energy levels. They're noticeably better. So I'm no longer dozing off in the middle of the day after lunch, and when I first get up in the morning and I'm going to work, that's usually when I have a low spot. Don't have that anymore.
One day I was going along, my daughter's like, "Oh my God, Dad, you're not on your oxygen." I guess that was the first day that I noticed I hadn't been using my oxygen. I noticed that I was actually getting out and doing more things, and it just progressed from there. It's totally changed my life.
Let me say, after 7 sessions, I noticed a distinct improvement in my eyesight, very definite. I could definitely see things I could not see before. And I'm very pleased. I have had back problems that have, my back is stronger. I can take walks longer and more easily than I could before, very distinctly. I've also had some muscle weakness that I feel is starting to kick in. And this has been going on for decades. It's not like, these have been serious problems that have sometimes been lifelong, and they are clearing up. I'm just thrilled.
I was blind in my right eye for over 5 years, and then I woke up one morning to almost complete blindness in my left eye. I couldn't see to drive, I couldn't read numbers, I couldn't go to work, I had to go on FMLA, I completely couldn't see anything, and I became at the mercy of everyone to help take care of me because I couldn't even get myself around. After the time that I spent here, I woke up one morning and I could not only see in my left eye due to macular degeneration that caused the blindness there, but my right eye that I've been blind in for 5 years after multiple surgeries has suddenly become visible to me again. I can see everything, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. I can't sing the praises of Eastism enough.
I left feeling much less pain in my body. I had skin changes over the first several days, which I noticed on my face in particular, that were really beneficial. I was very happy with them. And I also felt like I'm connected more in my core since my first session, which I believe was early, like a month ago. I've lost 10 pounds unintentionally, and I feel healthier and better overall.
I've been ill with chronic Lyme disease for many, many years. And my energy level usually runs around 10 to 25% max. After one session in the chairs here, my energy shot up to 100%.
I have major blood pressure issues, and within 15 minutes of walking into Brad's Center, I could feel my blood pressure stabilizing. The anxiety left, the dizziness left. I felt really good, and it didn't take very long.
The first day that we got here, the 2-hour session, after we left here, my mother started walking. She was unable to walk. This is the most miraculous experience that I have witnessed, and I am grateful that my mother is able to walk, and God knows what the possibilities are right now.
All I can tell you is if you are in chronic pain, there is hope for you. It worked for me, and I am so grateful that I took the leap to open this center, because now not only am I helping myself, but I can help other people as well.
There's benefits for everyone. We've all been exposed to a lot of stuff, and it's taken a toll on all of us. And this is a place where you can come and your body can help heal itself.
Please go to an EES healing center near you. It's real, and it's my passion, and it's my joy.
Reversal of learning challenges in children is something we've seen all along. And then the peer-reviewed published study out of University of Hawaii Medical School was a little girl with a clear case of vaccine damage from her well baby check, having 8 to 10 grand mal seizures every day. And she, of course, the technology's been with Dr. Terry Shintani, a professor of medicine at University of Hawaii Medical School, but professor of complementary alternative medicine, and he's Harvard-trained MD, JD, MPH. And so he had our technology there and had this little girl who was almost 4 years old, close to 4 years old, having 8 to 10 grand mal seizures a day. And they had already tried chelation to pull the heavy metals, the mercury, the aluminum, etc. They'd already done the chelation. They'd done all the dietary stuff. They bought their own hyperbaric chamber. She was still having 8 to 10 grand mals and 8 to 10 petite mals a day. Imagine that as a mother, what that'd be like. Just hell. And so she had her first, there was some mitigation. They weren't sure if it was really mitigation. There was a seizure log after the first 1 hour session in an 8-unit system at the university. And after the second one, a little bit better, but she had her first seizure-free day ever after her third 1 hour session in an 8-unit system. So, but the way that works is when the body has the energy, when it has the charge, because we're creating something called phase conjugate wave pairs that come together, it creates an implosion, a release of charge. When the body has that charge, it's what raises the millivoltage in the cells. But the first thing the body does when it has more energy is it wants to clean house. And that charge allows the body to discharge everything that doesn't belong. And so we see the heavy metal, literally can see the heavy metal detox. I'll give an example of that. After being in the technology, I had one gentleman who was a master metal worker, did bridges and things like that. And he said the first 6 baths that he did after being in the technology, he had brought his wife in for her colon cancer, which had, she had tremendous results. And, but anyway, men don't come for themselves, even though his pain was released and reversed and his hearing came back and all these different things. But the piece about the bath is so, so important to understand, because the body has the charge, then it wants to discharge everything that doesn't belong. Well, him being a master metal worker, he said the first 6 baths that he did turned the color of steel. And it felt like steel shavings in the bottom of the tub. And so he took a magnet and it literally picked up all the, picked up all those shavings. That is true heavy metal detox.
That is true. A visual example.
The world's easiest detox. You get in the system, you take a nap, and then do a salt bath, 2 cups of salt. The bath that we're recommending now is 2 cups of salt is the minimum, and that's sea salt, not Epsom salt, sea salt, salt of the earth kind of thing. And 2 cups baking soda, because that's the bath for radiation, because we're all dealing with radiation poisoning. And then I'm also recommending that people add 1 cup of borax. 20 mule team borax is boron. And that helps detox the fluoride that you mentioned and things like that. But it also helps pull some of these synthetic biologies that we're dealing with from bioweapons. So the bath is, people can see the toxins in the bathtub. Sometimes they'll see the parasites. Another little boy with autism, the mother's a doctor, and they'd done everything. But after being in the technology, using the EE system, she took him home, put him in a bath that night, and the water turned black. The body wants to release, and the salt will pull the toxins. I was just talking to Dr. Robert Young about this last night, and how, with all the pores of the body, when you create that ionic exchange, of course, with some heat, it opens up the capillaries, opens up the pores, and it can pull what doesn't belong. That's the world's easiest detox. It's just this salt bath. Send yourself in the bathtub. I mean, it's so, it's so profound and significant. But the largest organ of elimination is the skin. That's the kidneys.
Right. And I remember when we met, I was saying that I think people are really becoming very educated, more educated than their physicians, about the role of detoxification in health. And we spoke briefly about, for 30 years, I've been recommending Epsom salt baths because of the magnesium and the sulfur, which helps the liver form phenyl sulfur transferase. And you explained to me, which made a lot of sense, that magnesium, first of all, is a manufactured product, and it's not as earthy and
salts. Yeah.
I mean, the Epsom salt. And you said, no, don't use the Epsom salt when you're trying to detox, because it actually clogs the pores of the skin.
But the body will pull it in because everybody's so deficient in magnesium. That's
right.
One mineral deficiency is magnesium. We need it. And the easiest absorption, the best absorption of magnesium is transdermal. But the body's going to pull that in and then pull everything in that's in our tap water, which is the chlorine, the chemo drugs, the antidepressants, all the hormone, birth control pills. That's all in our in our regular tap water supply. So the salt you want to pull like a magnet, and then maybe use your magnesium lotion or magnesium oil after your bath.
Exactly.
And we get a good one, your ancient minerals or one of those, one of the good magnesium. I also like the supplement of magnesium breakthrough, the 7 forms of magnesium, because people are so deficient in the magnesium. But you want to do the bath with 2 cups of salt at least. And although, that's your minimum, and that's what I've been using with people since, when I built my first scalar healing chamber in my spa. First scalar healing light chamber in my spa in 1978. It was only 1 person at a time, but we also had the individual baths, custom detox bath back then, because it's so important for detox. And that's how long I've been advocating people do that. And it's just one of those, nothing does what a bath does. The skin is the organ of elimination, but how do you really work with that? When we're living in such a toxic soup, you don't want to pull that toxic water in. You want to pull all the toxins out. Instead, you're going to use those toxins in the water to create more of like a homeopathic solution that pulls like toxicity out. And that's what you create then when you do the salt. And then the salt also works with the potassium sodium pump. It's pulling the acidity out of the tissues, especially with the addition of the boron and the and also with the baking soda.
Right. And the detoxification is part of what's causing the decrease in inflammation. And inflammation is the basis of so many chronic illnesses today: diabetes, obesity, dementia, heart disease, cancer. They all have a base in inflammation. And toxins are what's a main contributor. What's that?
They're inflammatory.
Exactly.
The toxins are inflammatory.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for example, with autism, what's created is that cytokine storm, that inflammation storm in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
this is a way, I mean, of course, we've done so much brain research, and, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't want improved brain function. So,
right. And one of the articles on your incredible website, the eesystem.com, was Dr. Victor Marcel Vega. And he was talking about and he's a medical doctor. He was talking about some of the other conditions that are helped or have been helped through the EE system or the bioscalar technology, conditions like diabetes, vision, kidney stones, Parkinson's, depression, anxiety, sinus problems, arthritis. And again, most of those conditions have an inflammatory base.
Yeah. Anything itis means inflammation.
Right.
Colitis, I mean, arthritis, that's all inflammation. So yes. And circuits in the body. So, it is applied integrated biophysics is what we're talking about. It is pure. It's also that background I had in electrical, mechanical, structural engineering, and understanding that and the importance of coherence in the body, which is that state where there's no impedance. Well, scalar supports, superconductivity, and so a lot of our research is also on the conductivity, and there's a 28% increase in the electrical conductivity of the DNA. And this was done by our John Hopkins Stanford biophysicist. Well, actually, Dr. Victor Marcel Vega is the John Hopkins trained oncologist that you mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Top 1% of credentials of MDs in the nation. And he's a John Hopkins trained oncologist. The biophysicist is Stanford, Harvard biophysicist. That's Glenn Ryan, did actual lab research with the medallions and found that it was a 28% increase in the electrical conductivity of human DNA. Now, why is that important? That's our superconductivity in the body. That's our cell signaling. Everything is electrical impulse in the body. So that conductivity means there's no impedance. So it creates that super flow of energy through the body, and that affects our microcirculation and things like that as well.
And just going back